Hi guys, my name is Celeste. This is our farm Sulcata Grove in Sarasota, Florida. And this video is going to be an update 1 month after we had a freeze. So we think we got to about 29 degrees. And this is the first time we've had damage on a lot of our fruit trees. So I'm going to show y'all kind of what we've done and what things made it and what things look like they're not going to make it. The macadamia nut trees had 0 damage, so those did really well. We started noticing borers, which I think is an Ambrosia beetle, but not the red bay Ambrosia beetle that gets avocados. This is a different one, and we started noticing it on the trees that had a lot of dead branches that we hadn't pruned off. So this is our Namdokmai mango. We initially saw like tubes of wood coming out, like white tubes, and I'll show you when we get over to the Annona trees what those look like. But I think if we had probably pruned the trees earlier, it might not have been as big of an issue. So I wish that we had pruned all the dead growth off like a week after the frost. I think we would have started to see new growth sooner, and we wouldn't have had the dead stuff on the trees, which might have made the trees try to heal where that live part hit the frozen part. And then the dead wood probably attracted some of those insects too. But the Namdokmai does have new growth coming out of it now. We might top work this mango. It used to be Valerie's favorite, but she isn't a real big fan of it anymore. So we might do some different varieties that we like better on that, especially since it's close to the house, so we don't get a lot of animals that eat those. The peaches did really good. Even the flowers that had already set fruit before the freeze, they're still developing and did great. The Sapodillas showed damage much later than the other fruit trees. So the little Sapodillas, I think a Hassia, a Malish, and a Butterscotch, those have a lot of damage. So I'm hoping that those make it. And the bigger Sapodilla trees, they seem to do much better. That's Alano, had the least damage. Silas Wood had a lot of damage, and then Takal I had to prune back because it had so much fruit this year that broke the branches. But I think that those will probably make it. I'm gonna start watering those a little bit more and feed them. The lychees had no issues. This is our Mexicola Grande avocado, and it's full of flowers right now, and there have been bees on the flowers. I really like this avocado. It's super easy to tell when it's ripe. They turn black on the tree, and it's just great for making guacamole and different things. So I'm very happy we have this one. The Coggeshall mango, it had a lot of borers in it, and so we cut it back hard, and if it sprouts new growth, we're going to top work it, probably with sugarloaf and maybe something else as well. The Little Wirtz avocado has new growth on it, and the pickering we pruned back hard. I haven't noticed new growth on it yet, but it's definitely alive. And then the lemon zest does have some new growth coming out of it. Not a lot yet, but it's just starting to get little green buds. Again, I really wish we had pruned these back sooner. This is a John Way avocado. We are planning to top work this or just replace it. All the raw sapotes died back, and we aren't sure if they're going to make it or not. We had such good success with raw sapotes for years, and then we've just really struggled with them recently. We lost the Dwarf Hawaiian and the M4. They had a lot of borers in them, and I don't think that they're going to sprout back out. But I'm going to go pick up another M4 tree, and then I bought a Dwarf Hawaiian tree from Alex at Tropical Acres and had that shipped. So I will have replacements for both of those. This is the Valencia Pride. The nice thing about this freeze is that we're able to prune back everything really hard. We hauled it all to the road, and I'm hoping that the county's going to pick up. We scheduled a pickup with a claw truck so that we can get all the wood out of here. This is the Dream and it looks like it always does this time of year. So it's just now starting to bud out. We actually need to graft more of these. We have a lot of dream rootstock we're going to graft onto it. The lychees, again, look good. The longans look good. I have a Malabar Chestnut that I planted, a really tiny one. It's starting to bud back out. And the Trompo Canistel didn't have a lot of damage, but it also doesn't have a lot of new growth. That's Harvest Moon Mango, Dot Mango. We may end up putting 3 different varieties on the dot, like leave one of these branches dot and then do something else on the other 3. This is the Inga Vera. So it had a lot of dead leaves and dead fruit pods, but it is putting out new little green shoots all over. We're going to end up chopping that too down a lot. I got tangled up in the tree. Hold on. I've been cutting down all the bananas to about 3 feet. This is the coconut cream mango. There is some new growth coming out on it. So that's good that that one's going to make it, because that's our favorite tree. The one tree we have with set mango fruit is the one fruit I don't like to eat. This is Big Ron mango. I don't think it tastes very good, but we're going to graft other stuff onto this tree. And the ruby piece that we grafted on last year made it, so that's good. Craig really likes that mango. It's like a big red mango. The cat mango did fairly well. We think we lost the orange sherbet maybe, but we have a replacement for that in a pot. This is the Inga, I think this might be Inga Larina, but I think it's going to make it fine. And then I have an Inga Cinnamomia, and it seemed to do pretty well with the cold overall. We have a lot of branches still to like move. It's been a lot of work pruning everything, but this is the seedling Kaimito that was blooming before all the blooms died off, but half the tree is still doing good. The other half got cut down. And then I have a little tiny grafted Kaimito, and it has lots of new growth on it. So this is the Hippolito, I think, the green one. Here are all of our chickens getting ready to go up for the night. So in the chicken pen, I have a lot of Inga edulis trees, and they are starting to sprout new little green growth. The purple grafted Kaimito is doing good in there. The Guanabana is doing good. And then also, I don't know if you can see or not, but the Mame, it didn't have any damage in there. So that is good news. That's a Viejo Mame. And then back in the back, the Mangifera odorata didn't have any damage. So it's totally green. No flowers yet, but and then the jackfruit trees look terrible now. We're hoping that they're gonna make it. The white sapotes did great, 0 damage to those. The pineapple pleasure mango, I don't think it's gonna make it, but we will see. This is Ugly Betty. It has new growth on it. The Chakanon, I'm not sure if it's gonna spread out new growth or not. The Valkyrie did great. This was a golden pillow jackfruit seedling. it had never fruited for us. This is our beautiful ice cream mango. It was so full of flowers earlier this year and just looked absolutely amazing, and it looks so sad right now. Hopefully that one will perk back up soon. This is Sweet Tart, and it has a lot of new growth. Fruit Punch has new growth on it. And this is Cotton Candy, which has new growth up at the top. And this is Red Morning, and it has some green on it still, but we're gonna have to prune all the jackfruits back hard. Our main priority was the mangoes and trying to save them because we definitely waited too long to prune them back. This is a Southern Blush, and we are trying to graft onto it with Super Alfonso. The Pina Colada mango has new growth on it. This is the one, the jackfruits that had fruit on it. This is Cristela. It has a few green leaves, but most of the leaves are dead. The Glen Mango is one of the mangoes that did better than the others, and it has some flowers coming on it. The My 2 jackfruit lost about half the tree, has dead leaves on it. The Orange Crush jackfruit has no brown on it except at the very, very top right side. So next weekend's project will definitely be pruning back the jackfruit trees. We wanted to make sure with the jackfruit trees that we saw green first before we prune them back. So I think with the mangoes we should have pruned off the dead stuff a week later, and then right about now it's starting to be the right time for the jackfruits. The Maha Chinook, we still have a little bit left to prune on the top of that one. Let's see, over here we had the Monkey Jack, and it lost all of its leaves, but it's sprouting back out really well. And the Garcinias in here are still green. The Hog Plum has no green on it. We'll have to see if that comes back. I lost all of the like edible hibiscus plants. I don't know if those, like the ones you can use the leaves for like salad wraps and stuff. I'm not sure if those are normally annuals or not, but they like rotted out at the base. The noni tree, I'm not sure if it's gonna make it. And then I haven't checked on the black sapotes yet. So they lost all their leaves really quickly. And okay, I do see some green growth, so it's probably hard to see in the video, but there is a little bit of green growth coming out of the black sapotes. And then the starfruit trees still have fruit developing on them, and they look fine. This is our Montingia, or Jamaican Cherry. So it lost a lot of leaves, but they're coming back okay. This is the Japanese raisin tree. It greened up really well. This is the Thai Giant Jujube. I need to give it a little bit of water, but it didn't have any problem with the cold. The pineapples, the newly planted ones, look bad, but there's some new growth coming out of the base of those. And I actually had tomatoes like keep ripening off of the dead plants, and they've been pretty good. So that was a nice unexpected treat. This is the tree tomato. So this was totally, all the leaves had died off of it, but it sprouted out a lot at the base. And the other one I have under the oak trees is flowering now. The sunflower seedlings are growing great. Those did fine. And I will show you what the borer damage looks like on the annona trees. I had to cut down the custard apple tree. It just had so many borers in it, and so I don't think that's gonna come back up. The Adamoyas look good. They have little green growth coming out. But over here on the sugar apple, you can see what it looks like when there are Ambrosia beetles. So these are different beetles. Not all Ambrosia beetles attack avocados, and not all that attack avocados even have the laurel wilt disease. But this is what to look for. So anytime you see this, like the tree is struggling, I think that the beetles are attracted to dead wood or struggling trees. So I should not have probably left the cut wood from the annonas that I pruned in a pile over here. I don't know if that's like what attracted the beetles or not, but I also had a pile of mango wood in the back corner of the yard, and those got borers on them too. And I think those were the only two species of trees that got the borers. Avocados I've always thrown out the wood because I heard about laurel wilt disease and how that ambrosia beetle, the red bay ambrosia beetles, attracted to dead avocado wood. So I always made sure to throw that out, and I haven't noticed any on it. The longevity spinach is coming back. We had a graft we put on to a mulberry, and that made it just fine. And I think that the tilo is coming back. There's like little bits of green in there, so hopefully that will come back well. And the giant syzygium, so it lost its leaves, but down here at the base there's some new leaves coming out, some new growth. I'm really thankful though that we got around to like pruning stuff really hard. We've actually got the yard in a better place now, just we've gotten out a lot of stuff we didn't want in here. Here are the flowers on the tree tomato, so hopefully we'll get fruit on that. I had a kava plant that I brought inside, and it looks great, but this is the one that I left outside, and it lost its leaves, but there are new leaves coming back. I took in all the orchids too, except for the vanilla orchid, and it is still green, so hopefully it will bloom sometime. And then up front, oh, back here, so all the spice trees, allspice, bay rum, curry leaf, all those had zero damage at all, so those are pretty cold hardy. And the key limes did fine. The cinnamon apple did fine. I have an all-in-one almond, of course that did fine. And then the Olo Sapo has no leaves still, so we'll see if it puts anything out, but I don't see anything so far. The blackberry jam fruit did fine. All the citrus did fine. The plumeria all handled the cold fine. This is the little Inga vulpina. It had no damage on it. The avocados up front did great. The dwarf Fiji coconuts still have green in the middle, so I think that they all survived the cold. And then the mamey, this is a paste mamey. This is up front. And it seems to be doing good. It's still flowering. It's got new growth coming out of it. I did prune back a few branches that got hit by the cold, but it did pretty good. More of the coconuts, avocados, loquats. Up by the road is our giant pile of mango branches. And I also got rid of a lot of yucca that I've been wanting to clean up for a long time and get out of areas where it's hard to harvest. And these are the white sapote trees. And I think that they still have fruit. So that had no problem with the freeze. This is the Warts tree that a friend gave us that we had transplanted not too long ago. So it's still green. I cleaned up the monstera. So I'm going to try to get it to go more up the tree than out into the yard. And the thing I'm most excited about is the Cecropia tree. So I thought it was dead. The top was molding. But I cut it to where there was no more dead, and now it's got lots of little green sprouts coming out of the base. So I'm going to feed it, water it, and hopefully it will leaf back out. The jaboticabas had no damage, but the dragon fruit did end up showing a lot of damage. So that top part where it's yellow is all frozen stuff, and now it's like liquidy and really stinky, so I need to get all that cut off. And then the papaya I cut off and it's sprouting. I have a babaco plant that I want to graft on, but I think it's too sunny over here. So unless I can get like bananas growing up, that's probably not gonna work. But I think all of the bananas made it except maybe a red crew banana. But I gave a friend one of those, so I think I'll be able to replant that one. But yeah, I think that is about all the cold damage. I'm excited that we're going to be able to graft on varieties of mango that we like better. I'm glad that we had an opportunity to clean up a lot of the plants and hopefully get all that wood picked up. So I'm excited. I'm glad we got a lot done. I'm sad that we won't get a lot of mangoes this year, but that's just part of growing food and dealing with weather and stuff. But I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate all the nice messages y'all got about our farm and just how sad y'all were to see our trees damaged. I really appreciate that. And I hope that all of your plants are doing well. And I will probably post another video once more stuff is growing. But thanks so much for watching.